As we've had the assembly, which is now the Senedd, there's a little bit more awareness and there's more confidence in embracing our Welsh culture and heritage. And it's in that sense that it has changed. It's in the attitude surrounding it that it has changed. So when I was young, there was still a lot of antipathy between the various parts of the Welsh communities. There was a lot of defensiveness in the Welsh-speaking community because they felt that they were under constant attack. And there was a lot of defensiveness in the non-Welsh-speaking Welsh community because they felt that the Welsh-speaking community thought they were better than they were. And you had these splits that were quite deep and encouraged by external forces. Those wedge issues which can be played upon politically for political advantage and gain. And much of that has disappeared. And, it's not just me saying that or feeling that in my own life. The data supports that. There was a very interesting poll out again, which reinforces a similar poll about a year ago and another similar poll about 2 years ago, showing that, only 20% of Wales now have a negative perception of the Welsh language. It's pretty consistently, take out the don't knows, and you're pretty consistently up to 4/5 of Wales are supportive of the Welsh language and feel some sense of ownership of it. And I do think that for the Welsh-speaking community, some of whom can still be very defensive about things, they really need, and I was arguing this when in my 20s, very unpopularly, I could say. But I used to argue this quite strongly because if we want people to embrace our culture and embrace our language, we have to embrace them and we have to share those things with them. We can't hold it to ourselves. We can't keep it as some kind of exclusive treasure for us or for the Welsh-speaking heartlands of Wales. We have to give it to everyone and really encourage them to embrace it as their own without any expectation of them necessarily learning to speak the language. And surprisingly, when there's no expectation, you'll find that more and more people will actually make the effort, even if it is just to say diolch yn fawr, shwmae, and be really proud of themselves when they do so. And we should give them that and really embrace the fact that they want to do that. And that's been a massive change. I mean, a huge change. I mean, we're nowhere near the levels of confidence we should have as a nation. We're not like Iceland. I mean, if you want to see what a confident nation is like, talk to an Icelandic person. I was speaking to an Icelandic journalist, actually, a chap called Helgi. And I remember asking him, Helgi, could you put a man on the moon? And he went, yes, of course. And then I saw him pause and think, and he turned to me and he said, why would we want to? It's not, no, I can't do it. No, don't be silly. It's, of course we could if we wanted to, but there's no point because, we don't want to do that. And that's not a conversation you could ever have with a Welsh person.